Have you ever asked yourself, why am I not where I want to be? Why does success seem to be a distant dream, no matter how hard I try? You work long hours, you stay loyal to your dreams, but you're still stuck. The truth is painful, but it must be heard. The reason you're not successful is not the world. It's your own thinking. Napoleon Hill spent more than 2 decades studying the world's most successful people, and he discovered something life-changing. It's not money, education, or contacts that create success. It's mindset. The way you think is shaping your life every single day. He said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, but most people never even take the time to conceive. They don't have a clear purpose. They don't have a goal so powerful it burns in their soul. And without purpose, the mind drifts. If you don't take control of your thoughts will control you. And that control will never lead you to greatness. Start with desire, not weak hope, not a passive wish, a burning, unstoppable desire that keeps you awake at night, the kind of desire that pulls you out of bed at 5 a.m., even when no one is watching. Next, believe. Believe in yourself, even when no one else does, even when the evidence is missing. Because belief is not built from proof, it's built from repetition. Start repeating what you want to become. Speak it daily, morning and night. Train your subconscious mind to accept greatness as your new normal. Your words are programming your future. Choose them with care, and then act. No philosophy in the world can help the man who does not act. You must take daily, deliberate steps toward your goal, even when you're tired, even when you fail, even when it hurts, because pain is part of growth, because failure is part of learning, because persistence is the test that separates the dreamers from the achievers. Don't be afraid of failing. Be afraid of stopping, and don't try to do it alone. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better, people who won't let you quit. That's your mastermind. That's your support system. Everything you want already exists in your thoughts. But thought alone is not enough. It must be backed with belief, desire, persistence, and action. Your circumstances don't define you. Your mindset does. So write your definite goal. Repeat it every single day. Believe in it with unshakable faith. Take action. And never, ever stop. Because your success is not a matter of if. It's only a matter of when. And it begins now. But before your success arrives, you must defeat the enemies that hide inside you, not outside forces, not the economy, not your boss, not your family, the enemies that destroy success. Live quietly in your own mind. The first is fear, fear of poverty, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of taking that first bold step. Fear paralyzes. And the worst part is it disguises itself as logic. It whispers in your ear, what if you're not good enough? What if they laugh? What if you lose everything? But what if you don't try and regret it for life? That's the question fear never lets you ask. Then comes doubt. Doubt in your abilities. Doubt in your purpose. Doubt in the timing, the plan, the dream. Doubt grows stronger when faith grows weaker. And you know what fuels doubt the most? Indecision. Every time you postpone a decision, every time you overthink and delay, you train your mind to avoid action. And success never comes to those who avoid. Napoleon Hill said, indecision is the seedling of fear. Kill it while it's small, or it will grow into a tree that blocks your entire future. Then there's the voice of excuses, the most dangerous liar of all. It tells you you're too old, you're too young, you're too poor. It's not the right time. But here's the truth. The right time is the moment you decide. And finally, procrastination, the art of waiting for someday. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll change. But someday is not on the calendar. Only today is real. Success demands urgency. Success demands ownership. Success demands that you silence these voices and act anyway. Yes, you'll feel fear. Yes, you'll hear doubt. Yes, the excuses will show up. But greatness isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. Because the pain of discipline will always be less than the pain of regret. Choose your pain wisely, because one builds your future and the other buries it. This is your test. This is your moment. You already have what it takes. Now prove it to yourself. So how do you rise above the fears? How do you break the cycle of excuses and build the mindset of unstoppable success? Napoleon Hill gave us a blueprint, and it starts With one silent commitment, discipline your mind before the world distracts it. Here's how you begin. Each morning, before the world reaches you, you must reach into yourself. Close your eyes, take a breath, and ask just one question. What do I really want from my life? Write the answer down, not in your phone, not in your thoughts, but on paper, because what's not written is forgotten. Now read it aloud, with belief, with energy, with emotion, because your subconscious mind doesn't respond to dead words. It responds to feeling, the kind of feeling that says, this is already mine, the kind of faith that moves mountains, not people. Next, close your eyes, visualize, not just the end result, the car, the money, the success, but visualize you becoming the kind of person who deserves it. See yourself making decisions with courage, speaking with power, walking with purpose. This is not imagination. This is mental training. You're building a blueprint inside your mind that your life will begin to follow. And then act. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for everything to be ready, because it never will be. Start small, but start daily. Action creates belief. Belief fuels persistence. Persistence crushes doubt, and repetition makes it permanent. Don't worry about speed. Worry about direction. If you're walking toward your dream, even with a limp, you're ahead of those who are standing still, waiting for the perfect time. Now here's the final piece. At night, before you sleep, read your goal again. Even whisper it. Let it be the last voice your mind hears, because what you feed your mind before sleep becomes the soil where your future grows. And as the days go by, you'll start to notice something. A change in how you speak, how you walk, how you handle problems, how you treat time, and how success starts chasing you instead of the other way around, because you've planted the seed, you've watered it with faith, you've protected it with persistence, and now your harvest is on its way. But even with desire, even with faith, even with action, there will be days when nothing works, days when the world turns its back. When the people you trusted stop believing, when your energy is low, your faith is weak, and your heart feels heavy. On those days, and you'll ask, is it even worth it? You'll wonder, maybe I'm not meant for this. You'll be tempted to quit. And that's when you are the closest to your breakthrough. Because Napoleon Hill said, every adversity, every failure, every heartbreak carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But most people never wait long enough to see that seed grow. They give up one moment before life was about to say yes. You see, life will always test your seriousness. Your goal will ask, do you really want me? Will you still chase me when it's dark? Will you still show up when no one is clapping? And if your answer is yes, if your actions match your ambition, then success has no choice but to surrender. But remember, the journey is not a straight line. It's a climb, with pain, with scars, with silence, and with sacrifice. But it's in the silence, that the real you is born. No crowd, no camera, just you, your doubts, and your decision to keep going anyway. That's where strength is forged. That's where character is built. That's where champions are made. And one day, you'll look back at every failure, every rejection, every sleepless night, and say, I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I believed when it made no sense. I'm glad I suffered, because it made me unstoppable. So wherever you are right now, you keep going, even if it's slow, even if it's hard, even if it's lonely, because nothing meaningful, nothing legendary, nothing divine is ever born without struggle. And if you're struggling today, maybe you're closer than you think. So maybe all this time, life wasn't punishing you. It was preparing you to rise without applause, to believe without evidence, to keep walking, even when the road disappeared, because only those who continue in the dark deserve to walk in the light. And now it's your turn. You don't need permission. You don't need guarantees. You don't need to wait until you feel ready, because the truth is, you are ready. Not perfect, not fearless, but ready enough to begin. Napoleon Hill didn't write for dreamers. He wrote for the ones who dare to do, the ones who are tired of watching life pass by, and finally decide to build something of their own. He gave us tools, but the tools are useless unless you pick them up. So today, not tomorrow, not next week, today you begin. Begin with a written goal. Begin with a decision that this time you won't stop halfway. Begin with the belief that this is your moment. And begin with the voice inside you whispering, I was made for more. Because you were. You were not born to settle. You were not born to blend in. You were not born to spend your life surviving. You were born to create, to rise, to lead, to leave something behind that mattered. And if you ever forget that, return to these words. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Not might achieve, not some people achieve. You can achieve, but only if you begin. So begin now. Your future is waiting, your purpose is watching, and your success is ready to be claimed.